Good morning, guys. Welcome to the session 2 of SailPoint IIQ comprehensive training. So before we move on to the further concepts, let's revise yesterday's topic. In the last session, we have seen what is SailPoint architecture. So that consists of the connected systems, and this connected systems is of two types basically. So one is the authoritative source and the other is target applications. So authoritative sources is nothing but the HR systems. We already saw that. And also the CSV files which we dealt yesterday. So that also comes under authoritative sources. Next, the target applications, we can consider Active Directory as the target application and all other apps. The second type consists of the database. So that also comes under the SailPoint architecture, and database mainly SailPoint uses MySQL. So in MySQL, the data is generally categorized into tables, and everything will be converted into tables and stuff. And the third one in the architecture is the Tomcat server. So in the background, this server will be working, and this is like an engine to the car, and we cannot see the engine when the car is running, but in the same way SailPoint also runs because of this Tomcat server. So behind the scenes, this Tomcat will take care of all the SailPoint running stuff. And the fourth part is the UI interface. So what we'll be seeing on the screen comes under this UI, user interface. So everything, every tab, every menu, every option, everything comes under this user interface section. Next one is, last but not least, is the user. Users are us, which who uses the SailPoint, like the managers, other employees, HRs. Those who use the SailPoint comes under the user part. So all these five together, they are under this SailPoint architecture. So going further, we also discussed about onboarding an application. Yesterday we have seen two CSV files, one the employees CSV file and the other is the contractors. So these two people will be working in any organization. So the employees are the permanent workers and contractors are the temporary workers. Okay. And the contractors application also has the contractor ID and other columns. So let us suppose there are 200 employees in one organization, wherein they need different types of access, and there are almost 100 contractors who are working temporarily in the company. So people needs to manage all kinds of access. So there will be a separate team for this, and whoever is accessing the application. So everything, for every kind of work that is done in the organization, so a specific team needs to maintain, it needs to track all those access. So multiple people join, multiple people leave the organization. Contractors, they work in different they work in different cost centers. So they do business with other companies, and they also work with their own companies as well. So in this way, people needs to keep a track of all the employees and contractors access inside the company. So it is very important concept which the SailPoint will take care of. So before the SailPoint tool, people used to take records in an Excel sheet, which has become a very difficult task to understand. So after the SailPoint came into existence, then it became very easy for them to track all their records, all their access and everything. One second. Yeah, coming back to our concept. And we have also seen what is an identity in the SailPoint. So identity is nothing but a digital representation of a person inside the company. So SailPoint, what it does, it takes all the users, it takes all the accounts from different sources, and it will create an identity inside it. So this identity is very important in the SailPoint tool, and it consists of different types of attributes like the username, email, manager, location, everything. So those are all called as attributes. So for every user, there will be an identity created in the SailPoint, and SailPoint has all the information regarding that particular employee or contractor. So wherever, so the place where we can find all that information in the tool is called the identity queue. And also these attributes are of two types. One is standard attributes and one is extended attributes. Standard attributes are basically they are created by default by the SailPoint, and there are also some other attributes which needs to be created by us manually, and those are considered to be extended attributes. These are also very important, like the manager, location, region, cost center, etc. So all these will be present in the identity cube. So understand, it's like a cube which has 6 sides, and we can see the entire information. Like we can see all the dimensions of a person inside this identity cube, like how many accesses are there, how many accounts are there for this person. So email, manager, each and every detail of the person can be seen in this identity cube. So we'll be seeing this once we go and work hands-on inside the tool. The next concept we'll be seeing. Yeah, moving on to the next concept, authoritative source. Yesterday we also discussed about it. So whenever a person joins, HR records all his details in HR management system. We can call it as their own portal. So here the HR takes each and every detail from CSV files, or they will put that detail in the CSV file. And so that is the we can call it as a source of truth. There are multiple systems like the Workday, which are used by most of the companies, and HRMS, HR management system, and SAP success factors. So there are a lot of such things. Different companies use different HR management tools. So a lot of the MNCs, they also use this Workday, and this is called the source of truth, wherein the SailPoint completely trust this part, this HR system. Okay, now in this section we'll be dealing with the 5 big steps. So the first one is the employee details. So first one we'll be seeing like the employee details. So where we'll be creating an employees application. Okay, and yesterday we have already done this, onboarding this employee application. So we also did account aggregation part and extracted all the details from the CSV file. in our last session. So the second step is the contractor details. So in today's session, we'll be creating a contractors application, uh, wherein we will extract all the information about the contractors. And the third step is c- creating user defined password rule. So we'll be creating passwords, yes, using the creation rule. Okay, so once the users are created, they need to have a password to log in. So each and every employee or each and every contractor, so once their account is created, they need to have a username and password. So we'll be doing that. I'll show you how to do that by writing a small line of code, wherein the users typing that password, they can easily log in to their systems. And the fourth step is how to read the data. So we'll be seeing concepts like schema, what is a schema, and filtering and merging. All these steps we'll be seeing in the today's sessions. Like this tells us how to read the data. Schema is nothing but it's like a table. It's like having a table of information wherein we will be seeing all the column names inside the schema, and we'll be also doing merging. So as different contractors have multiple accounts in the systems, so there could be possibility of having the same rows, and we'll be merging them. And last but not least, the important concept is aggregation. So aggregation is like pulling all the data from the CSV file and putting it into the SailPoint. So what we are basically telling SailPoint is that go to the CSV file, take all the information, read all the information, and bring it back to the SailPoint tool. So it's like government officials going to each and every house and recording all the people's names uh, for voters list or that kind of stuff. So in the same way, aggregation will also work. So these five steps we'll be seeing the in the session, which are also very important, like creating employees application, creating contractors application, and writing this creation rule. All these concepts are very important. So let's move further. So here we can see the contractors CSV file. So as you can see, there are different types of columns like full name, contractor ID, first name, last name, manager ID, email ID, department, the region they belong to, location, whether they are active or inactive, and cost center, etc. Everything. Okay, so this is our information, and this, as you can see, they belong to the same region, so that's not a problem at all. And what else we need to see? Yeah, here if you observe, the two rows are identical. So only if you see the cost centers, their cost centers are different. So what we have to do here is we need to merge these two rows together by keeping the cost center values side by side. So this is done in the merging thing. So in the tool itself we can do this, like employees belong to the different cost center, like they'll be having multiple accounts. Cost center is nothing but it's a budget tracking thing, like for example, if a contractor is having access to Outlook, the company is investing money on his Outlook account. So if he is also having an account in Jira, it's a or any service desk tool, so the company has to invest money on that tool as well. So multiple contractors are having multiple cost centers. So uh, all other values are identical except the cost center value. So merging those two rows and keeping the cost center values side by side is an important thing. Next, as you can see for the as you can see in the fifth row, Alok Kapoor. So the cost center values are side by side. In that way, we need to work for other contractors as well. Okay, and here also, if you see the location, uh, some people are having same location. That is what. So all other values are identical when compared to uh, the cost center. The cost center values are different, but remaining all values are same. So we need to merge these two. That's the main thing which we are learning in this session today. Okay, now let's move into the hands-on SailPoint exercise, wherein we'll be creating a contractor's application. If anyone could share your screen, so we will go further and onboard that contractor's application. I have done it on my system. So if you people, anyone who has successfully installed the SailPoint can share your screen and we will proceed with the onboarding contractors application. Anyone of you can share your screen. We'll go further. Okay, so now let's onboard this application inside the SailPoint. Yeah, so click on add new application. Yeah, man. Okay, yes, copy this path. Right click and copy this contractors path. Now, yes, click on that add new application. That's not a problem. Yeah, yeah, here when we click on the add new application button, here it will ask us the name. So we can give name as anything we want, like HR contractors or anything, and we need to select the owner. uh, so owner will be SP admin, the default admin for the SailPoint. Yeah, select admin, SP admin. You may type there. Yes, you can type there SP admin. You'll get it. Yes, yeah, this is the one. Okay, here you need to select the application type as delimited file. Since ours is CSV, we need to select it as delimited file. Yeah, select it as delimited file. Okay, next check that box authoritative application. Since this came from the HR, we have to mark it as authoritative application. Yes. Now we can give description, a short description as well if you want. Moving on to the configuration tab, here we'll be giving the file path which we copied just before. Remove the double quotes in the starting and ending of the path. Yeah. Yeah. So after that, we need to give the delimiter as comma, as CSV file contains comma as the delimiter. Next, we need to check that box as well. So file has the first row has a header. So we need to check this box as well. Yes. So now click on the schema. Yeah. So our CSV file, as it contains the first row, all the headers, all the column names, we need to select that. Next here, okay, before going into the schema, we need to click on that filtering tab. Here we need to yeah, fill as I say. 1 second. Here comment characters, if there are any comments in our data, like we need to give backslash as the comment character. Next, selecting the merging, clicking on the merging tab will be selecting this checkbox, data needs to be merged, and index column will always be the unique column, like the contractor ID and stuff. Yeah, here we need to write contractor ID, since it is a unique column in our and it is the main ID which will be defined by our CSV file. Yeah, and it should be in the same format. See, yeah, copy that. Yeah, you may copy that and paste it over there to avoid any errors. Should be in the same format. If it is in the capital, if it is in the uppercase or lowercase, whatever the column name is, we need to give that. So here we are giving the contractor ID. So based on this, we are telling the SailPoint to merge the data. Yeah, index column is the contractor ID. Okay, moving on to the other options. The last one, yeah, we need to check that box as well. And which columns should be merged? So ours is the cost center, which needs to be merged. Okay, so in that box we need to write the column name. So the filtering tells SailPoint to skip certain rows when reading a file. So our CSV file have comment lines starting with forward slashes. Then we need to give the forward slash. Now this merging tells SailPoint, if you see the same person having the same contractor ID in multiple rows, combine those two rows into one identity and collect all different values. So this is what we are telling to the SailPoint. So as our cost center has multiple values, we are telling the SailPoint to uh, merge the data based on the cost center values. Okay, now next we will move on to the schema part. So schema is nothing but a table which shows all the columns of our source of truth. So in our case it is CSV file. So whatever columns we are having in our CSV file, we can see them here. So as you can see, all the column names like the contractor ID, email, manager, full name, everything is shown here. So here one thing we need to make changes is we need to set the contractor ID as the identity attribute. So it must be, it must be the unique. So it should be marked as identity attribute as it is the unique one in our data. Uh, Next, what we'll be doing here is we will set another column which is the full name. We will set it as the display attribute. So the users will be seeing full name as the display attribute. Next one is the cost center. Cost center will mark it as multi-valued, as it contains multiple values in it. Okay, done. So all these three changes have been done, and merging is also done. Next, we'll be seeing the preview. Okay, when we click on this preview button, the first 10 entries or the first 10 rows will be visible. And here, if you can see, we will add some new column like the cost center, and let's check if the data has been merged or not. Yes, as you can see, the data has merged successfully. Okay, the second and third entries, you can see there. Yeah, we can see the cost center values have been merged. Yeah, selecting the preview button, clicking on the preview button will show us sample data. Okay, now click on save and the application will be saved. Next, what we'll be doing is the most important thing. Once the contractor's application is saved, we need to set them user login password. Like when they try to log into their systems, they should have a password, right? So that we need to set it up by writing a few lines of code in the rule editor. So what we'll be doing is we'll be opening that application, that created contractors application, and click on this rules tab. And here in the creation rule, we need to set up this rule. So that rule will help the contractors to log in with the default password. So in the real time, after logging in, they can change their password. Uh, so as of now, we are selecting the same default password which is created for the employees application for this contractors application as well. The same thing we'll be selecting. So if you wanted to see it, you can click on that three dots and you can see these two lines of code wherein I have imported all the SailPoint related objects, and I have set up the password by selecting the attribute called as set password. So now these all contractors have been successfully set up the default password. When I click on save, then the operation is done. So you can take in any contractor's username, and the password will be SP Learner. Using those credentials, you can log in. So in this way, by writing the creation rule, we can set up both employees and contractors a default password to log in. So the SailPoint will automatically send an email to both employees and contractors, the official to their official email address, their username and password. So by using that username and by using the default password, they can log into their accounts successfully. So if they typed in a wrong password, then their related managers will be notified. That is a different setup. So as of now, we have successfully created contractors and employees application. So next, what we'll be doing is we'll be going to the rapid setup and configure disable account logic. So go to this applications drop down and select rapid setup. So as you know, rapid setup is a small wizard where we can simply configure the manager correlation and account correlation, all those things we can do there easily. So once we select the rapid setup, it will ask us to choose an application. So here we will be choosing the contractors application. Yes, so it will show us multiple applications which we created, but we need to select the right one and make the required changes by applying the correct logic. Okay, now select the contractors application and click on next. Yeah, here go to this disable account logic and click on that add filter. So once we create this logic, then in the identity cube, when we click on that identity, it will show us disabled. We actually did this part with the employees application earlier. So setting up contractor ID equal, I mean, the inactive user equals true, then the SailPoint understands that if I see anywhere inactive as true, then I will note that account as note that identity as disabled. So so for the disabled users, this will be very much helpful. So those disabled accounts in the identity cube are marked as disabled by the SailPoint by following this logic. Okay, and here if we want, we also can do a lot of operations without writing any code. So rapid setup is such type of a configuration wherein without writing any such code, we can easily, using small drop downs, we can select multiple attributes, and setting up the logic, we can simply do the magic. Yeah, so now by clicking on next, it will be the operation is done. Yes, now go to home, and now to successfully finish this operation, we need to uh, run the refresh identity cube task. So by doing this, all the identities will be refreshed, and the all the logics will be done. So next, we are doing the account aggregation. So here in this part, as I told, this aggregation will bring all the data from the CSV file into our SailPoint. So now it will ask for us to give a name, so which we will give it as like aggregate contractors or HR contractors or any kind of name which you wish to. Okay, so yeah, we are giving aggregate contractors. Next, here we need to select yes, contractors. Yeah. Okay. And next, here previous result action, we need to set it up as rename old. Yeah, in the drop down. Okay. So this account in the, yeah, there we need to select rename old, and here in the account aggregation options, we'll be having an option to select the application. So it will scan that application and bring all the accounts from that CSV file to the SailPoint. So here these are the mandatory checks we need to do, like disable optimized, yeah, those two things. These two options we need to check in. Disable optimization. So what this does, when we click on the refresh identity cube, it will read all the accounts from the starting. Yeah. So once we click on save and execute, the task is run, and all the new identities are created in the SailPoint. We also can see all the new identity cubes created. Yes, the task is run successfully. Uh, if you want, you can also go to the task results and check, or else you can go to the identity warehouse directly and check the newly created identities. Yeah, you can see here new identities have been created so far. Yeah, we will also check for inactive contractor, whether he is marked as disabled or not. So yeah, You can see the type as well. It is mentioned as contractor to the right. So for employees it is marked as employee, and for contractors it is marked as contractors. Now we will check whether the disabled account logic has worked properly or not. We'll go to the application accounts, I mean the application definition, or for all the applications to be visible, and identity warehouse to view all the created identities. So here we will be checking uh, for this person, Neha, and we are having two identities created. One is employee and one is contractor. Yeah, we'll check for the contractor. One second. Yeah, yes, we will be checking for the Neha.Sharma, who is a contractor. Click on the applications account. Yeah, in the application accounts, you can see if her status is active or not. If she is active, it will be shown as active. If she is inactive, it will be shown as inactive. Let's check for the inactive account. Okay, in our CSV file, yes, Sneha.Kumar. Sneha.Kumar. So Sneha.Kumar is inactive. We will check if the disabled account logic worked for her. Go to identity warehouse, check for Sneha.Kumar in this. Yeah, click on that identity and click on application accounts. We will be seeing if her account is disabled. Yes, it is shown as disabled. So our disable account logic has worked perfectly. So in this way, rapid setup will help us. So when you click on this application, all the attributes will be shown along with their values at a time here. So this will be shown even before the account aggregation has done. So without doing account aggregation, identity cubes will not be created. So account aggregation is very important. So once the account aggregation has done, once the account aggregation task has been run, then only all the accounts from the CSV file will be flown into the SailPoint, and we can see all the newly created identity cubes. Okay, and there will be so many other things which we need to discuss. We will be seeing that in our next session. Hope you will practice well and ask for any doubts tomorrow in the session. Thank you guys.